Good morning. Welcome to my home and welcome to my heart. Our bodies are pretty wonderful things, aren't they? Sometimes we love to hate them, sometimes we love to love them. I know it's interesting to me how I interact with my body and the things that it's able to do and the things that it receives from the chi fields of other substances and other things around us as well. Before I got my arena, before I built our arena, I spent all my summers outdoors. And I got pretty brown from here to here. My face was brown, my neck was always brown, just because I was outside teaching all day long, all summer long. And so over the years, I've had some little things come up on my body. And a couple of summers I would get this rash into my neck and they would be kind of dark and scaly. And as I discovered essential oils and started putting frankincense on those little things, they would disappear. And anytime something would come up, I'd kind of look at it and I'd go, uh-oh, I wonder what that is. And I would think positively, obviously, and I would start putting frankincense and I would give myself a certain time period. And if it didn't change it, I would then say, okay, so then I'll go have it looked at by somebody else, but let's start to bounce. And so I would give it a time period and continue to, with faith and love and optimism, apply frankincense to these spots. And I remember I had one on this side of my neck and one on this side of my neck. I had one up on my head and my forehead here, or up here and by my eyes this year. And a couple of weeks ago, I discovered a little mole right here on my arm was starting to change. And it wasn't something that wasn't like a zit, it was a big black center. Well, it was little, but it was big enough and it was raised and had a little bit of redness around it. And looking at that, and I'm going and Googling pictures and stuff and put frankincense on it, had it by my computer. Frankincense 3 or 4 times a day. And then the last few days, I could see that it was shrinking, it was getting smaller, but I was also adding to it love. And I was looking at it, and as I would apply the frankincense to it, I would say, thank you for helping me pay attention to small details. And I would send love to that little black spot. And like I said, it wasn't a zit. It wasn't, first of all, I don't get them on my arm ever. And it was black, and it was changing, and it was raised. And I started sending love to it. Just saying, thank you for the details. Thank you for helping me pay attention to small things. Thank you for helping me to have faith. And I would put the frankincense on. I have little bottles of frankincense in all kinds of little spots. And I would just keep putting frankincense on. And again, on my temples, this one here is totally gone now. This one here is almost gone. And then this morning I saw that it had gotten a fair bit smaller, but it was still a bit of a lump. And today I just thought, okay, I'll just scratch that a little bit and see. And I didn't want to scratch it and disturb it before because I didn't want to open up any edges that it might have. This time I thought, okay, I'll just scratch it. And as I scratched it, it completely lifted out. And there's just a tiny little red spot now that's just a healing. Our bodies are wonderfully magnificent. I don't know what that was. I'm not going to find out totally what it was because it's gone. But as we join with nature and join with the chi fields of the things around us, and sometimes we join, and often we can join with the things that and the energies that you feel will help you be whole and balanced. So as I joined with the energy of the frankincense and joined with the energy of love and optimism and faith and awareness, if this had continued to get bigger or if it had not gone away, I'd have probably given it another week before I would have taken it to a health practitioner. But I'm also giving my body the chance and the environment in which to heal itself, because our bodies can heal themselves. They can heal themselves from some pretty difficult things. When we create an environment, if you know any of Dr. Bruce Lipton's work, The Biology of Belief, he's a cell biologist and was a self-proclaimed atheist, believed in nothing until he really started studying cell biology and really got in depth with it. And that made him a believer in influences from the universe that were spiritual influences. Because he came to understand that the cells and the epigenetics because you can study your genetics and you can say, oh, I have genetics that are predisposed to cancer, heart disease, all those things, if you study your genetics. And then we can use that information in a way that either scares us and says, oh, my father died of a heart attack at 55, therefore I probably will too. Or we can say, oh, so my body has that predisposition, but how does that gene get triggered? And Dr. Bruce Lipton and Dr. Candace Pert and Dr. Dawson Church and Dr. Deepak Chopra, they all understand that it's the environment that the cells are in that triggers the gene expression or not. It's the environment. So much the environment. And so as we create an environment, we may not have control over our genetics, but we do have control over our environment, both our inner environment and our outer environment to an extent. And our inner environment actually influences our outer environment, because as our inner environment balances, that balanced vibration that we have goes out and influences our outer environment. So we have huge control. We have huge autonomy in these spaces. And as I talk about this, I think about some of the things in the world that are happening right now, and there's so much fear-mongering in so many different areas. And that fear goes into our kidney system and our water. And if we are sitting in fear all the time, we're constantly bathed in those cortisol hormones that put our bodies into the fight or flight space and actually diminish our immune systems. So when we change our thoughts, and let's bounce, continue to bounce. The bounce, remember, is the releasing. And the breathing. As we change our thoughts and we bring in and receive different thoughts and invite different thoughts. When we start feeling fear about something, and it isn't a matter of just saying, oh, not going to feel the fear, put a box on that, put a lid on that. Bring in peace. As we feel the fear, we can say to ourselves in this bouncing space, in a loving space, because I think we can actually put two emotions together at the same time. Like I sent to my little black spot on my arm, I love you. Thank you for helping me to see tiny details and to pay attention. We can say to the fear, I love you. Thank you for showing me that I might need to pay attention to something. Oh, so the fear says, pay attention to this and this, whatever it is in your life. Maybe you need to set a boundary. Maybe you need to adjust what you're eating. Maybe you need to do this or do that. Your mind will tell you, your body will tell you, your spirit will tell you. And so when we receive the emotions that we have and bounce into them and feel where they're creating contractions, feel where in the past they've created contractions, because so often those emotions that we've buried will start to come up, and then we get scared. And then we go, oh, I can't deal with that. Didn't deal with that then, don't want to deal with it now. What are we afraid to feel? And as we allow them to come up and actually feel them, get the messages from them. Oh, I need to love myself more. I was really hard on myself. I shamed myself in that space. As we receive those feelings, process them through, especially with the bouncing and the tapping. And as they process and release, we can bring in a new thing to think about and feel. Today is Wednesday. Yesterday I did all 5 healing elements. Today I'm going to focus on the healing element of peace. the healing thought, the healing emotion of peace. That's our earth system. It has to do with the spleen, the pancreas. It's yellow energy. Stomach energy. And the contracting feeling is anxiety. How much anxiety is there floating in the world today? So much. We're just going to allow our hands to float up. And in this space of bouncing, feel into any anxiety that you might be feeling. Receive it. Receive it and breathe in and blow out. For instance, I've given myself a new challenge that I need to rise to on Friday, and I've been anxious about it. I've been anxious about this class I'm going to teach. It's a new venue, new set of people. I'm stretching my comfort zone. It's a drumming class. It's a meditative drumming class. And as I talked about it and said those words, I could feel this clenching in my stomach. So as I feel that clenching in my stomach and that anxiety, and just think as I'm bouncing here, what is it I'm anxious about? I'm anxious about not being able to fulfill their needs. They might come to my class and go, oh, that wasn't very much fun, or that wasn't what I needed. They might judge me. You might judge me. I might judge me. All that anxiety. Allowing the hands to float down. Just continuing to feel it. It's still a little bit in my stomach. Adding a rotation. Just like a little child. I love Rong Lee's. She's in Spring Forest Qigong. She's a certified healer. I love following her classes. She's so cheerful and happy. And I suspect she's had lots of difficulties in her life. But she chooses to be very childlike and joyful. And in this bounce and this swiveling, you can be childlike and joyful. And allow your body to come into a quiet stillness off the exhale. And already I feel my body expanding. As you've seen my arms lift away from my body, it's been a conscious receiving of expansion and buoyancy. We're going to bring our hands up to the eyebrows and tap 9 times right where the eyebrows start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the Bladder Meridian. So it releases that water system, releases tension in the bladder. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to do a set of 3 of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And under the eye is the stomach meridian. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And as I tapped on those, I just felt a whole releasing and softening in my whole body. Let's clap. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are heart meridians. In our palms, we have lots of heart meridians. So we're sending love to the heart and sending releasing and joy to the heart. This vibration, when we're tapping on things, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The vibration of the tapping sends energy and sends messages to those systems. That they can relax, that they can release extra energy that's stuck in there. all about vibration and feel. So as we come back to our stance here, and I'm not holding my hands out. My hands just feel buoyant. My whole body feels alive and vibrating and expansive. We're going to bring our hands to the lower dantian area, opening up the shoulders, opening up through the chest. Elbows are high. It expands and opens the chest and the lungs and the heart meridian and the lung meridians. And here at this space of the lower dantian, we call upon the energy of our master and set the intention for our practice. My dearest master, with deep gratitude for the instruction and the wisdom that I'm learning from the unconditional love that thou dost send to the universe and sends to me. I set the intention for my practice today to be peaceful, to receive peace, to know that there is a divine order and a divine awareness of all things here on this earth. I am grateful for my freedom to choose. And with that freedom to choose, I set my intention to choose peace and to choose to share that peace in love, in kindness, in forgiveness, in compassion, and in charity. And as we set the intention for our practice, we then give the password, I am in thy universe. My universe is in my body. My universe and I combine together as one. We are citizens here of this planet and citizens of the universe, and therefore students. And as students, under the tutelage of our masters, and I say masters because you may have a master that is different than mine, or a different vocabulary for that master. Truth. The healing movement that we will practice today, first of all, let's just take our energy ball, that joining of yin and yang. We have a smile on our face. Our tongue is touching the roof of our mouth. And we're balancing the energies of yin and yang here. In this energy ball, we can invite anyone for whom we are concerned, anyone with whom we have disagreements, anyone within our sphere of influence that we would like to help heal, anyone in the world. This energy ball will fit every person on the planet if we would like it to. Can send love and joy and healing and peace to the whole planet. Feel it in this energy ball with you. Walk your right foot out just a little bit so that you've got a nice solid stance. And take this energy ball now. At this point, mine becomes opalescent. It's beautiful and it's vibrating, and the exterior of it is shimmering. It has a beautiful sound to it as well. We're going to lift this energy ball. As we lift it up higher, it expands. And it's light. It is no burden to carry. It floats us up. As we lift our hands, our shoulders drop, our elbows stay soft, our wrists stay soft, our chin bows. It stretches up our spine in the back. And as we breathe in, we bend our knees, reaching into Mother Earth, receiving energy from her. And as we breathe out, we stretch up into the universe and we give back to the universe extra energy that we no longer need. It has served us, it has taught us, and now it can be released. Back into the world, back into the universe. We release it with love and gratitude. As we bend our knees, we invite in the feeling of peace. As we stretch up and breathe out, we release any anxieties, any contracting emotions that are ready to be released. Inhale, bring in peace. If your hands are tired, envision them still being up and slowly allow them to float down. You can take them to a goalpost position if you wish, like this. Still envisioning peace as we bend our knees. All of this can be done standing, sitting, or lying down. Even if you're lying down and doing this practice, envision yourself doing it in full vibration and full vibrancy of health, with a perfectly working body. Envision that. Don't muscle through, Roxy, don't muscle through shoulder fatigue and arm fatigue. Still envision, if you're dropping your hands down, still envision those hands up, holding that beautiful, weightless orb. Mine is opalescent. It shimmers, it vibrates, it sings. I feel so peaceful right now. Receive peace. I am so peaceful. My body just asked me to be aware of where my knees were when I was bending them. It wants my weight back a little bit more. And in that bend, I'm going to demonstrate how I was bending them. I was bending them forward and over top of my toes. And that was creating some fatigue in my knees. It asked me to balance, drop my seat back and put my weight in my heels more. Now there's more of an awareness of my gluteus muscles and less stress on my knees. Our bodies will tell us what they need. Breathing in peace. Receiving peace. Releasing with love and gratitude everything that's ready to return to the universe in unconditional love. Receiving peace. Feel that smile on your face. Smile starts in the heart, and it says, "Start my internal love engine." As we feel that love in our hearts, we receive the peace of the universe. As we go out into the world now, we can take that love in our hearts and allow it to shine into everyone that we go to meet. Everyone on the cars, or in the cars, on the streets, on the highways. Bringing our hands together. Rubbing our hands together, interlacing our fingers. We're activating chi points in our hands. We take those, and those are heart meridians as well. We take those to our face, which has activation points for our whole organ systems. We run our hands on either side of our nose and up around the hairline. And as we do that, we can say to ourselves, "I love you." And use your own name. "I love you, Roxy." As if you were a newborn baby, being loved by a perfectly loving set of parents. Because we have both yin and yang in us, we can be both mother and father to ourselves. Tapping the top of our heads. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cupping our hands and cupping the whole head from the front to the back. Massaging the ears. Just going to take our ear and with our fingertips kind of unroll that curl on the top of the ear on the outer part. Give the earlobe a little bit of a tug. Do this 9 times. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Tap down our chest. Harvesting our chi is like putting on a coat. Our bodies have been wide open to the meditation process, and now we're just snuggling everything in, keeping our body heat in, keeping our chi functioning well within ourselves. Doesn't mean we keep it to ourselves, but we close the portals that would allow other energies to come in. Because we have invited in the energies that we want, the energy of love, the energy of peace. Armpit, 7, 8, 9, and the right armpit. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and tapping down the chest. And tapping the sacrum. Got birds building nests up there right underneath our eaves so we can watch them. And tapping the hips. 7, 8, 9, and tapping the groin. And coming down to the knees. We're opening the channels here. All my channels are open, open, open. We're receiving energy from the earth, down deep into the earth. 6, 7, 8, 9. And the left leg. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When I used to run marathons, up on the toes and drop to the heels. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When I used to run marathons and I would train for marathons and ultra marathons, and I would be tired because my runs would be very, very long. Before I knew anything about Qigong, I just knew that I connected to the earth. I knew that there was an energy that came to me. And as I would be running along, I would open my fingers, just like this, to the earth. And I would ask the earth for energy to sustain me in the task I had set out for myself. And invariably, I would be sustained. It was very rare that I would stop a run earlier than my intention had been. Very rare. There'd be times when I would want to, but because I would draw energy from the earth, I would be sustained by that. My longest race that I completed was 100 miles. And so as I've practiced those things and taken my body and my spirit and my soul on those moving meditations, before I really knew what I was doing, I just knew that those were spaces that my mind and my soul and my spirit felt connected to all that is. Beautiful, beautiful spaces. Now I have a vocabulary for it, for what I was doing then. Namaste. What are the marathons in your life? Drop it into the comments if you wish. I'd love to walk with you. I'd love to share your stories. I'd love to hear your stories. Your stories of joy and sadness and pain and triumph and peace and calm that you've brought in, that you've invited in, either through these practices or others. Namaste. I'd love to hear you in the comments.